Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Paulus here. So as we all know, business can be tough. Life can be tough, and in recent years, we've all been through some difficult experiences, and it can sometimes be tough to know what to do or how to stay positive. So in this video, I want to share 5 things you can do to stay positive even when times get tough. So let's go and get started. Okay, so just this last week, my executive team, including myself, have been on a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a high emotion, high energy, maybe not always positive energy. It's been interesting because you have the right team even though there might be some fires we're putting out or things that are just happening, or maybe some rogue people in the team. And it's interesting because when you have the right people, you can kind of vent to them knowing you're in a safe space, but then still have the emotional intelligence to be able to still do the right things to the people that you're leading, or you're managing, or mentoring, things like that. But if I had to coin a term, it would be to be positively negative. And what do I mean by that? Like, sometimes you do need to talk about the hard things or show your frustration. And a lot of times, because I'm passionate, if you can't tell from these videos, when I get fired up about something, because I'm passionate, I start to talk faster and I start to talk louder. And having that energy, though, I think is so important to be able to get through it faster and to have kind of enjoy the journey, like even through the hard moments. So if you're positive through the negativity, it doesn't make it so difficult. So how do we become positively negative? Let me talk a little bit more about what that means. So Jeanette on my team, we always joke because we're like, oh, there's a hurricane, and Jeanette's gonna be like, how do I solve it? Like, she'll go into the hurricane, and she's super excited to go into hurricanes and figure out what's the problem and clean them up. And she has like the most chill, calm person ever. Cameron and I and our executive team, like, we are passionate and we get excited and kind of irritated or whatever, but Jeanette is like smooth. And so when Jeanette's fired up, that we all should be fired up about something. But like, she has this presence about her that just makes going through trials and hard times in business fun. That sounds really weird. And so as a leader, whether you're the CEO of your company, the owner of your company, whatever it is, make sure you have an executive team around you, if you're at that point where you have that depth, that it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not all negative and naysaying when things happen. It's like, okay, let's vent about it. Let's figure out how to do it. And then let's get it done. It's not a lot of emotion in that way. It's just, let's just solve the problem. I kind of equate it to the whole in the Bible when Jesus was flipping tables. Jesus was a perfect man, and he still flipped tables. And I can imagine that it was more of passion and to show, hey, we're serious about this. And as leaders, that's why if we don't raise up or elevate our energy, people won't know that we're serious about what's going on and that this needs to change. And so just understand there's ways. I'll be doing another video on different types of leadership styles. And I believe that you need to kind of fluctuate your leadership style depending on what's happening in your business. A lot of times we get stuck on just one, hey, this is the way I am, and that's the way you are 100% of the time. No, I don't believe in that. Like, you need to figure out what is the situational thing and how I need to act for that thing. Okay, so there's a little bit of a rant, but let's dig into the 5 areas how to stay positive when times get tough. Okay, the first is around emotional intelligence and knowing your limits. You need to know who you are and what you stand for and what your weaknesses and your strengths are, so that you can have people around you that complement you. There's a lot of information online. You just Google about emotional intelligence. I'll be doing another video around emotional intelligence, and really knowing that most people get fired not because they're not really good at something, but because they don't have the emotional intelligence to work with a team. So some of the best people you'll probably fire are really good at what they do. So one of the best ways to stay positive during tough times is for you and to have the emotional intelligence and hire other people that have it too. Because collectively, you could be like, okay, let's all dig in here and get through this. But if you hire a lot of people with the victim mentality, oh, your team's gonna go south real fast. And then also having a belief. You need people that believe in your vision, believe in you, because when things get hard, they need people to trust you as the visionary, that you're gonna get them through it, that the different players are all gonna play their part to get through it. Okay, the second one I already kind of talked about, but it was around like your employees and your executive team that surrounds you. You want to have people that, again, compliment you, that can tell you how it is, that can kind of, laugh with you about it, get passionate about it with you, that you have a safe space to talk about it, and really get it out of your system. Sometimes you just got to vent to just have somebody to talk to. And so surround yourself with positive people that understand your vision, that get your vision, that trust you. All of that is super critical to have that environment around you, because business is too tough to go at it alone. If you don't have it in your team, get a coach, get a mastermind group, find a community online that's a free Facebook group, like anything to have a group of people around you that can help support you during those tough times. Okay, so before we go into the last 3 points, I would love it if you would like and subscribe to this video. My ability to bring you free content is really dependent on these likes. So if you've learned something useful, leave a like to secure more content for yourself in the future. Okay, so number 3, and I keep getting ahead of myself in this video, so clearly I'm not scripted. But number 3 is masterminding with other entrepreneurs. I was recently a mastermind in Vegas, and there were probably about 10 of us. It was something funny because I literally was the only woman. There were 9 other males there. And we were at this really nice restaurant, and it was one that had like 9-course meals. And it was like so great because we all got really vulnerable with our businesses and our struggles and the pains that we were feeling. And it was just so nice to know that we weren't alone. And here's this highly successful mastermind group. And everybody, like I said, business is kind of like this. We just hear the good times, and so we think that there aren't little dips along the way. And we have to remember that that is not accurate. Like there's ups and downs in business. And so when you really start to talk to people, you'll realize that you're not alone. But something was so great on how to get through some tough times. Like we're talking about all this tough stuff. But we did some funny prank on our business coach, and we were all like belly laughing so hard. And honestly, I hadn't belly laughed that hard in probably 5 years. And it just reminded me of how important it is to laugh. I mean, I think in business, we get so serious and so focused, and then we go to groups where we're like, oh, we got to do all these things and we're going to be data driven. But sometimes just remind yourself to just laugh. And so if you surround yourself with some entrepreneurs that are easygoing in ways and just can have fun, like just don't forget that part of life and business. It's meant to be enjoyable. So if you haven't done a belly laugh in a while, find a way, go find a movie, find something to go give yourself a really good belly laugh. Okay, which leads me to number 4. Apparently I'm just gonna go I'm gonna talk about it before I mention the number. So number 4 is laugh about it. So really spend the time to laugh. That is probably the best medicine you could ever do. I think I already kind of hit that point home, so I won't go any further on that. And the 5th point is just know it's temporary. If you put a lot of hard work and what I call grit into things, I truly believe in business. This has happened to me so many times where grace is the end result. You will go so far, and when you're at wit's end, I mean, I believe in God, but whatever it is, the universe, whatever, there's a gap of that somebody will make up that difference. And that's what I call grace. So put in the hard work, grace will play its part. And then just understand that the trials are not long lasting. Go through them, but you got to put in the work. Most of the people that have really, really long trials, most of the time it's because they're not willing to put the effort in to learn from it, to humble themselves, and to adjust and pivot and adapt away from it, or through it. Sometimes it's not always going around it, but you got to go through the pain. And so just learning about yourself, learning about your team, learning about your company, the more you can get more introspective and feel the pain, the better you'll be able to process the pain and know what to do. I think that's probably one of the biggest epidemics in the world, is that we are trying to get rid of pain, where if we learn to process pain, it'll actually, I think I heard this study, don't quote me on it, but it was like, if you process pain, it'll only stay with you for like 20 minutes and then it's gone. But if you bury it and you don't process it, it'll stay with you for obviously forever. And so just understand that if you can really process pain sooner, it's going to save you a lot of heartache and time in the long run. Okay, so my last little hack I'll leave you with is sometimes if you actually look at the worst that something could be, like, oh my goodness, the worst that could possibly happen in this time of struggle would be this. And you know what? Life still goes on. I'm still going to be okay, whatever it is. But think of the worst, and sometimes that can make what you're in not seem so bad. So that's just kind of a little hack that you can do, and it kind of brings you back to reality that that it's not the end of the world. And sometimes if you have a death or a funeral, you realize, like, why was I stressing over that? Like, after you've had something more critical happen in your life, it makes you realize that some of the stuff we stress about isn't necessary. So if you want support and you don't want to go through it alone, I'm actually putting on a free 5-day VIP event that is really around time. And really about how to navigate through the different phases of business quicker, and knowing what's ahead and knowing the pitfalls and the roadblocks, all the things that are there. If you go to mastermindmytime.com, I'll put the link in the description. But it's a free 5-day event. You can do it throughout your normal day. It's pre-recorded, and it's not going to be a lot of time each day, so you'll be able to fit it in. but it's tons of free value, tons of free content, like tons of free gifts with it. I'm all about just giving away all my knowledge and resources for free. I have a company that we make the money on the done for you side. I don't need it on the front end of the side. I just want to get entrepreneurs to elevate to the next level, whether it's using me or not. I just want to give all this value to you. So if you want to be a part of this free event, you can go to mastermindmytime.com.